In this video, we're going to walk through how to set up Python environment using UV. UV is a Python package manager that is very popular among the developer communities right now. The reason being is that traditionally, the way that virtual environments along with packages are managed, you use Python Vim, which comes with the default Python environment, and then you have to utilize pip install as a way to install packages that you need. And the thing about pip is that pip can be really, really slow, especially if you're trying to download some data science packages like pandas or numpy. So what if there's a way to speed that up? And UV utilizes Rust as a way to really speed that up. And so if you're installing packages like TensorFlow or LangChain, it may take several seconds. With UV, it could be milliseconds. Not only that, later, if you're working in a team, oftentimes you may run into some reproducibility issues. And UV utilizes something called uv.lock, which ensures that the Python versions you have picked gets pinned. And so it helps reproduce your project and other developers' workstation. So if you want to read up more about the UV, I would go ahead and look at the official doc. But the problem is that just like any other official doc, oftentimes it's a little bit bloated and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So you can check out the guide that I've written on Join AI School. I'll provide a link to the websites on the description below. The first thing that you want to do is we want to install the UV on your operating system. So in my case, I have Macs. So this is a script that you're going to have to run in terminal. I don't need to run this because I already have UV installed. If you don't have it, please go ahead and run this and make sure you verify that UV has been set up by running the UV version. If you're a Windows user, then you have to run the script right here. Now, I have this project set up right now, and it doesn't have any environment that has been set up. So if I do Python and I'm running the script 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗶𝗵, this is a very simple script that will just take this age data and run it through this function, which is going to compute the mean and then output the result. So if I just do Python 𝗧𝗶𝗶𝗺, then what I get is this result right here. But what if I want to utilize a specific Python version? Because right now, this is using the default Python that's already in my computer, and that's a Python 3.14. And what if I want to utilize Python version, let's just say 3.13 or 3.9? And you can imagine it's a bit of a nightmare having to uninstall the Python and then reinstalling the Python version that I need. So what I'm going to do as specified in this guide is, so I'm going to install the Python version 3.13 using this script right here. So I'm just going to run this in the terminal. And you can see that it took less than a second to install this Python. And later, if I want other Python versions, I can take a look at a list of Python that are available for download using UV Python list. And you can see which ones are available for download. Now, if I don't need that Python version, then I can just do UV Python uninstall 3.13, and that's just going to delete this. But I'm not going to run this right now. So now, if I want to run the 𝗧𝗶𝗶𝗺 with that specific Python version, what I can do is run it using UV run --Python 3.13, and then the script. And now this is running not as 3.14, which is the default Python, but as the one that I've installed using UV. Now, what's also really nice about UV is that it comes with something called UV init, which is going to set up the project with files that you often need from one project to another project. So when I run this sets up Git on this project, along with this file, git ignore, which specifies the files that are going to be ignored from tracking. And it specifies the Python version of this environment, which is 3.13. By default, it comes with this main script right here, which we can modify later. And then a 𝗏𝗏 script, which contains the metadata of the project, along with the Python version, and then the dependencies, where when we install packages like numpy, you're going to see that this 𝗏𝗏 file is updated. Now, let's go to this custom script that we have written, go to the main.py, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import numpy as np. And if I were to run this, what I'm going to have is an error saying no module name numpy. Now, remember, in previous lesson, when we walk through vim, we have to first of all activate the vim and then pip install numpy. With UV, what we can do is we can use UV add and then the package that we are going to need, which is going to be numpy. So this indicates that numpy has been installed along with the specific version, which is going to be 2.3.5. Now, when you have installed the first package of your environment, there are going to be three things that's going to happen. So first of all, you'll see that in this 𝗙𝗨, under dependencies, the package version of numpy, and you will also see that there is a uv.lock. And what uv.lock indicates is that it helps with the reproducibility. So it pinpoints the exact numpy version as 2.3.5. So later, when you're shipping this code, and this is being set up on a remote server, it is using the exact same version that is consistent with your developer workstation. Now, one other thing is that you also see .vim, which is where the Python packages are installed. Now let's go back to this main.py. And what I can do as a way to run this is I can do uv run, running this Python script within this UV environment that has numpy installed. Now I can also uninstall this numpy by using uv remove numpy. And you'll see that this 𝗙𝗨 file has been updated along with this uv.lock, which has been cleared out. Now, the other way to install packages is that I can directly modify the dependencies here. So I can list the numpy, and then I can also pin it to a specific version that I need. So let's say that I want Pydantic, and instead of leaving it open-ended like this, which is just going to install any version of Pydantic, what I need to do is just double equal and then type out the specific version. And then what I need to do is uv sync, and you can see that the following packages have been installed. So this manages all the potential issues with dependencies, because sometimes if you're installing multiple packages at once, sometimes there could be some conflicts, and UV will manage that. Now, one final tip is that personally, I don't really like to run it using uv run python.py. I find it a little bit tedious having to type that out. So what I personally like to do is I like to just source activate it first. So now you can see that in the VS Code terminal, this terminal is running within this environment UV basics as specified in this vim folder. And now I can just go ahead and run Python main.py. And I'm utilizing the exact same configuration as I've set up in the 𝗙𝗨. And later, if I don't need it anymore, then I can just do deactivate. And now I'm back in the global setup. So hopefully this streamlines your developer workflow. And if you want more pro tips like this, make sure you check out joinaischool.com, and I'll see you in the next video.